Good morning, everybody. Today is Tuesday, September 23rd. I'm John Weigel with Juliet Bennett Ryla, and this is the Hustle Daily Show. You remember when Rent-A-Cop was just a mean thing you used to call mall security guards who took their jobs way too seriously? Well, now there's literally an app called Patrol that lets you rent actual off-duty police officers to watch your mansion because apparently we've officially entered the dystopian timeline where law enforcement is just another gig economy hustle. So hear more about that and the biggest headlines in business and tech right after this. Starting us off today, a 14-person group in Quebec went in on lottery tickets together and won a $50 million jackpot. All of them live in the 150-resident St. Paul's River, which means the town's demographic shifted very fast, where 10% about of residents are suddenly millionaires, technically. Next up here, eBay will acquire Tice, a social marketplace for reselling clothes and home goods for an unknown sum. eBay says Tice appeals to younger consumers with social elements, including the ability to follow sellers and comment on listings. From there, we go to investing. Warren Buffett's Berkshire Hathaway just made a big move in the EV space. The firm pulled its 17-year investment from Chinese EV maker and Tesla competitor BYD. Buffett's firm made back 20 times its investment. The pullout likely came from BYD slowing profits in Mexico and recent tariff hikes on Chinese vehicles, of which they are a part of. Next, the Recording Industry Association of America updated its lawsuit against Suno, an AI music generator, to accuse it of illegally stream ripping copyright tracks from YouTube to train its models, per The Verge. If true, this would violate the Digital Millennium Copyright Act, which states that you can't circumvent any measure that controls access to protected works. The Recording Industry Association of America wants $2,500 for each act of circumvention, plus $150,000 for every work infringed. And finally, a small TikTok update for you. The proposed deal between the US and China would see Oracle, as we talked about last week, presiding over the app's US algorithm, with its US operations controlled by a new venture with mostly US investors and board members. ByteDance, the parent company of TikTok, would retain a stake of less than 20%. For more updates like that, you can subscribe to the show and we'll have more for you tomorrow. But today, we are talking about a Rent-A-Cop situation. All right, so our main story today is about renting a cop or a bodyguard. There are a lot of startups that apparently are excited to take your money in order to provide this service. Juliet, can you tell me a bit about this industry that's budding?
Yeah, kind of same as it ever was. If you're rich, you can afford to protect your property. And if you're not,
too bad.
You're not. So I would say this is an interesting and also very grim business. Mm-hmm. So the first app that launched from founder Nick Sereth is called Protector. It launched in New York City and LA. It actually saw an accelerated launch. They put out a press release pushing this out after United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson was gunned down in Manhattan.
Right.
And they put a video on LinkedIn that is still up that you can actually watch, talking about his murder and how their app could have prevented it if he had just had an armed bodyguard with him. So there's that.
Okay.
I think when it first launched, they started calling it Uber with guns, and then they stopped because they didn't want people to think it was literally an Uber you could call that came with an armed guard.
That delivered you guns, yeah.
Yeah. But essentially, you can hire a protector. You can specify what kind of outfit you want them to wear, with everything from suit and tie to casual clothes to tactical cosplay.
That's pretty funny.
And then, they'll follow you around. And if anybody tries to rob you or harass you, they're going to get this guy mean mugging them and being like, moving along. The pricing is a little bit unclear. I did find a CBS News article that found pricing for the following scenario. Mm-hmm. Let's say you're in West Hollywood, California. You would like a protector. You would like that protector to show up in a Cadillac Escalade for a minimum of 5 hours. That's how much you have to book a protector for.
Okay.
That would cost you $1,000 plus a $129 a year membership fee. Mm-hmm. So that's app number one. Mm-hmm. Now they've rolled out a second app called Patrol. Patrol is only available in Los Angeles and only available in 5 neighborhoods, which include Beverly Hills, Brentwood, Malibu, Holmby Hills, and Bel Air. If you are familiar with LA, you know that that is where rich people live.
I am sensing some similarities, I was going to say, between these neighborhoods.
Yes, very, very wealthy areas.
Yes.
And the deal here is that you can literally rent a cop. You can rent an off-duty officer to patrol your house and keep an eye on it, like in a movie, I guess. Like I've only ever really seen this happen in movies, but I'm sure witness protect. I'm sure there's lots of people who get the escort. I always see it in movies where there's like, don't worry, we'll put a cop outside your house. And then of course it goes horribly awry, like in like Cape Fear or something. But
oh yeah, completely. The part that's interesting to me about this whole thing is not necessarily that you can hire a bodyguard. Like that makes sense. But being able to hire an off-duty cop, is that a thing that people have been able to do before in other situations? Because this seems it could be a bit of a conflict of interest with, the law at times. If you hire an off-duty cop to protect you, and I don't know what you're doing. You could be doing some criminal activity, or you could be up to no good. But I'm not sure how I feel about the off-duty cop thing, about how they're double timing with the police force and also private security.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of applications in which maybe this would make sense. So the advertising for it is just like families. It's like, it's my family. I'm keeping them safe here in this house, me and my kids.
Right.
It reminds me of, I don't know if you've ever seen the first Purge movie, but the first Purge actually takes place entirely in a house. And Ethan Hawke plays this guy who has built security, like hardware and software. It's basically like this security system for the Purge that turns your house into a fortress for this 1 12-hour period every single year where all crimes are legal, right? And so he's made a lot of money off of the security system that locks down his house. But you have to be able to afford that. And then the whole story is about like the security system and where it fails and his neighbors who hate, like, you think of the Purge and you think of it being outside, but the first Purge movie was actually inside the house.
It was inside?
Yes.
Wow, I didn't even know that.
And all of the advertising was like, here's my family. I'm keeping them safe from the unknown dangers of the world. Like, it totally has Purge vibes. So, I mean, my question is, you live in Bel Air and you're that worried that like someone's going to come and get your family? Like, I don't know. I guess, yeah, you live in an expensive house. You have expensive stuff. Maybe you do feel like you need someone to guard it. But I think there's a lot of questions about who this is for, because let's say you're a celebrity and you have a stalker, right? That happens. That has happened in LA. It's happened in those zip codes.
Sure.
Those people probably already have their go-tos for security.
They have a service.
Yeah, they don't need an app, but they already know where to get it. They've asked their friends. They're in the know. If you are a politician, you also already have your go-tos. And if you're a random person, I'm not sure why you need this. Like, if you're not somebody who regularly needs security, I'm not sure why you would as a one-off, unless you're in the witness protection program or you are being stalked by someone, in which case I feel like the actual police would be involved.
Yeah.
Like, you wouldn't have to hire someone because you're testifying in a mob trial. Or, but then again, you get a lot of people who say, yeah, I was being stalked or harassed and the cops didn't do anything. So I guess maybe you would use the service.
Sure.
And then the question is, can you afford it? Because it's unclear how much it costs, but I bet it's not cheap.
If they're going by the 5 hours for $1,000 metric, that's going to be pretty steep pretty quick if you want to protect yourself from a stalker or anybody that can get you at any time.
Yeah.
So, it does seem pretty pricey.
Yeah. At this point, I'm like, how about a German Shepherd?
Right. Yeah, much better. Less than $1,000 probably can keep you safe. And all you got to do is just give it some food and pets now and then.
Yeah,
I think it's
so
a pretty
cute.
good middle of the road. And it's really cute. But is this entire thing sustainable? Because wealthy people, I guess, don't necessarily need this, but it seems like these apps are still in business.
Yeah, that's a great question. And there's not a lot of information surrounding it. I don't know. I haven't read a lot about people who've used this app. Because one of the things that the founder was saying in an interview was that if you want to hire private security, it's actually really complicated. There's all these websites, you don't know where to start. There's this labyrinth of things. Mm-hmm. And I think maybe if you're somebody who hires private security occasionally, like you're having a big party or you have some sort of concern, it may be true that this is easier for you to do. I don't know, though, that those people would want to pay the annual membership fee of $129 a year, because how often are they actually using it?
Sure.
And if you are a person who's a public figure, or a politician or someone who otherwise often needs protection, then you probably already have a service that you use that isn't an app. But I don't know, maybe you don't like that service. Or I guess I could see it if let's say you are a public figure of some kind and you live in New York, but you're traveling to LA. Maybe you would use this to book a security person there while you're out of town.
Could be if your company doesn't go that far.
Yeah. I mean, but really, these places are not broadly available. You know, they're only in New York and LA for the armed bodyguard, and they're only in LA for the cop thing. So, and not even all of LA, just extremely wealthy parts of LA. So, yeah, it's a really interesting business model. It's sort of spinning off of this incident that happened that was, you know, that we all read about, that we all saw. And yeah, I don't know. It seems like it really relies on people being afraid. I think most people are not afraid of being assassinated. I think most people are not afraid of being broken into or somehow compromised in a way that they need an actual cop. I think most people are content with a Ring camera, maybe a video camera.
Yeah, maybe some home security action over there. Yeah.
Maybe the neighborhood watch.
Could
So
be.
yeah, I mean, that's the question. It's just how paranoid are people? How much of a need is there for this? And how much of a need is there for this that isn't already covered by services that already exist?
Sure. It is good to know, though, that now it won't be complicated for me to hire a bodyguard to show up with me at various events to make me look very important.
You're going to look so cool. People are going to be
So
like,
cool.
who's that guy?
We're both going to wear sunglasses. He's going to be in a suit. It's going to be great.
Yeah. I wonder if you can ask if they can do musical theater with you.
Hopefully I can special request one in the notes section of the application, I'm sure.
Because then you could do like that bodyguard song that everyone does at karaoke,
Oh, yeah.
the Whitney Houston song. Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be really good, actually. Yeah.
I would like that.
All right, and that'll do it for us today. Thanks for tuning into the Hustle Daily Show. We're a proud part of HubSpot Media. Our editor is Robert Hartwig. Our executive producer is Darren Clark. We've got a lot more tech and business coverage in our newsletter. If you're not subscribed, go sign up at thehustle.co/email and follow us on Instagram at The Hustle Daily. We'll catch you later. Here's what blows my mind. Most people are sitting around waiting for their boss to give them a raise, while millionaires are building income streams in their spare time. Entrepreneur and creator Marina McGilko cracked the code on this. She built more than 10 income streams that now pull in over $100,000 a month. She shared the secret sauce with our team, so now we're sharing it with you, exactly how she did it. This guide gives you practical step-by-step strategies you can actually implement. So just pick just one income stream from her guide and watch what happens. Stop what you're doing right now and grab it in the show notes 6 months from now, and you'll be glad you did.